We're about to take this incredible journey, not across the world, but deep inside the amazing architecture of the human body. So let's get right into it and break down the very building blocks of you. No, really, have you ever stopped to think about it? You're this incredibly complex machine, a collection of literally trillions of parts all working together. But how does that even happen? How do we go from one single simple unit to a complete walking, talking, thinking person? Well, let's dive in. Okay, so before we can just dive deep into this incredible journey, we kind of need a map, right? And every good map needs a legend. So we've got to learn the basic language of the body first, just a few key terms to help us find our way around. This is a perfect way to think about it. You've got anatomy and physiology. Think of anatomy as the what. It's the blueprint, right? It's all the parts, the structures. Then you have physiology, and that's the how. It's the instruction manual that tells you how all those parts actually work together. And you really, really can't understand one without the other. They're two sides of the same coin. And speaking of maps, here's how we navigate the body. We use these universal directional terms. So, for example, superior just means towards the head. Your brain is superior to your heart. Makes sense, right? And inferior means towards the feet. So your knees are inferior to your hips. It's this super precise language that lets doctors and scientists talk about the exact same spot on the body without any confusion at all. Okay, map and legend in hand, let's start our tour. We are zooming way in. All the way down to the most basic, fundamental unit of life, the cell. Now, don't think of a cell as just a simple little brick. Oh, no. A much better way to imagine it is as a tiny, bustling city. Your body is made of trillions of these cities, and every single one is its own little complex world, just humming with activity, doing thousands of jobs every single second. So here's a look at the city blueprint. See all those different parts? Each one is called an organelle. Just think of them as specialized departments in our city, right? Each one is a super critical job that keeps the whole operation running smoothly. So, want to take a quick tour of the main departments? Let's do it. First stop, City Hall. This is the nucleus. It's the absolute control center. This is where the city's blueprints are kept, our DNA, our genetic code, and it's giving out all the orders, directing everything the cell does. Of course, no city can run without power, and for the cell, that power comes from the mitochondria. These are the power plants. They take the nutrients we eat and convert them into this energy molecule called ATP. And you can think of ATP as the currency, the cash, that pays for literally everything the cell needs to do. No ATP, no work gets done. All right, next up, we're heading to the factory district. These are the ribosomes, and their job is simple but crucial. They build proteins. And proteins are, well, they're everything. They're the machines, the building materials, the messengers. They do everything from repairing damage to sending signals. They're pretty much the backbone of the entire cell's economy. And last but not least, every city produces trash. So you need a sanitation department, right? For the cell, that's the lysosome. These guys are basically the recycling and waste disposal crew. They're full of these powerful enzymes that just break down and recycle old parts, get rid of debris, and even take out foreign invaders. They keep the whole city clean and tidy. Okay, so that was the single cell. Let's zoom out just one level, because these little cellular cities, they don't work alone. They're team players. They group together to form specialized crews, what we call tissues. And this is where things get really interesting, because this is where specialization really starts to happen. So your whole body is basically built from four main types of these tissues. You've got epithelial tissue, think of that as the covering, like pavement or wallpaper. Then there's connective tissue, which is kind of like the scaffolding and glue that holds everything together. Muscular tissue, well, that one's easy. It's what lets you move. And finally, nervous tissue. That's the body's wiring, the communication grid, sending signals lightning fast all over the place. And check this out. It's a perfect example. On the left, see how those epithelial cells are packed together super tight? That's to form a solid, protective barrier. But then on the right, you've got a nerve cell with all these long branching arms. It looks completely different because its job is to create this huge communication network. It's a classic rule in biology. The way something is shaped, its form, is perfectly designed for what it does, its function.
So let's keep zooming out. We've gone from cells to tissues. Now, when different types of tissues team up to do a bigger job, they form an organ, like your heart or your stomach. And when a group of organs all work together for a common purpose, well, that's a system. So let's take a look at a really big one, the body's entire scaffolding.
206. Just let that number sink in. That's how many bones are in the average adult human skeleton. It seems like a simple number, but the system it represents is, well, it's anything but simple.
I mean, your skeleton does way more than just keep you from being a puddle on the floor. It gives you a framework to move, it acts like armor for your most important organs, it stores minerals like calcium, and get this, it's also a factory that produces your blood cells. And here's something that might blow your mind. Your bones are actually living, dynamic tissue. You basically get a whole new skeleton about every 10 years. So, to make it a little easier to understand, we can break this whole system down into two main parts. First, you have the axial skeleton. That's your core, your skull, your spine, your rib cage. It's the central pillar. Then you've got the appendicular skeleton, and that's pretty much everything attached to the core. So your arms, your legs, this is the part that lets you actually move around and interact with the world. Okay, wow. So we've gone from a single cell to tissues to a whole system. Let's pull the camera all the way back out now. Let's look at the big picture. You have trillions of these parts, all working nonstop. But what for? What's the ultimate goal of all this activity? The answer comes down to one single, absolutely critical word: homeostasis. You could argue this is the single most important job your body has. It's this constant, never-ending process of keeping your internal environment stable and balanced no matter what's going on in the outside world. Every single cell, every tissue, every organ system is working together 24/7 to maintain this delicate balance. Just think about everything your body has to juggle. Your temperature, how much water you have, your blood sugar, your oxygen levels, your blood pressure, all these things have to stay within a super narrow, perfect range. If you get too hot or too cold, or if your blood sugar spikes or drops, any little deviation and things start to fall apart. Homeostasis is that silent, tireless work going on in the background that is literally keeping you alive moment to moment. So there you have it. From one single cellular city to this vast, complex society of systems, all working together in this perfect, delicate dance to maintain balance, you're not just a body. You're an entire universe. So the only question left to ask is, what are you going to do with this incredible, intricate machine? Thanks for exploring with us.